I miss pressure, Luck. I really do. Don't ask me why that popped in my head during the show today, but it did. A little stroll down memory lane before we go to our final break, and Alison Moran joins us. There's a lawsuit pending, a big one. What the hell happened? We will discuss that. And God knows we got a whole lot more to discuss, considering that the Olympics are now complete. The final medal count is in the books. And we just got some things to talk about. The Token Females next after the break.
This is Snowman in the Morning.
Join Ryan McCarthy.
I became a Jets fan because Kurt the Frog was my favorite Muppet because he was green, and the Jets wore green. That's how I became a Jets fan.
And Dustin Henry.
ESPN is cashing all in on let's pay a few personalities and we'll just kind of fill in the gaps.
As they walk you through all of the world of sports from their perspective.
The Albany Empire, it's a literal circus.
No credentials required. Where, Ryan, say the tag.
Where you don't need a press pass to talk sports.
Live every Tuesday at 8 p.m. Eastern, 7 p.m. Central on YouTube and where you can find podcasts.
Sports bettors, listen up. Your favorite sportsbook, BetUS.com, is back and in our 30th year of action. With live in-game betting, incredible odds with daily odds boosters, props and parlays, fast payouts, and exceptional one-to-one customer service, we got it all. And when you sign up today and use the code SNOWMAN, you will get a 125% deposit match on your deposit. Log on to betus.com or call 800-792-3887. That's 800-79-BET-US. BetUS.com, where the game begins.
Join the transporter to Hades.
Your butt and gut becomes one.
Join the reformer of hooker whores.
This is my daughter, Placenta Booty Johnson.
Join the bronze god.
Whenever you are in distress, take off your baseball cap and throw it in the air.
Join your very own superhero of broadcasting, Chris Bass.
So whatever color crown they get, they palm it and do two circles, and that translates to, I can be the black people.
As she takes you through the week's paces in Baseline. Live every Saturday at 8 a.m. Eastern, 7 a.m. Central, Pacific Time Zone people, just stay asleep when this is on live and just catch the recording. Oh, I'm sorry. Exclusively on the Chris Bass YouTube channel.
Eva Marie smoked 12,000 packs of cigarettes over 15 years. She quit, and now there's a new lung cancer screening that could save her life. You stopped smoking. Now start screening. No matter how much you smoked, early detection could save you. Talk to your doctor or learn more at savedbythescan.org.
Drew Willingham.
In this case, yeah, you put the blame on Kyle Shanahan for apparently not preparing the team enough for the overtime rules, supposedly.
Cole Johnson.
Peyton was considered a winner, and he was the darling of all darlings for Gerald.
With a special appearance by Tyrone Alizé McDummy.
Ain't nobody calling me. Text. Delete! 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 Delete!
Join these two football enthusiasts as they give you Total Football Talk. Live every Monday at 4 p.m. Eastern, 3 p.m. Central on the Sertoba Media and the Comey Media YouTube channels. Whether it's news, The largest egg producer finds bird flu in chickens at a Texas plant. Weather. Devastating tornadoes rip through the heart of the United States. Inspiration. A breast cancer survivor completed the journey of chemotherapy, and now begins a future one of matrimony or sports. Michael Jordan is shown on a photo with Diddy. LeBron James has a video extolling the virtues of a Diddy party. This has been yet another Beating a Dead Horse presentation. We got you covered. BS3 Network proudly presents The Morning Shift with Cole Johnson. Live every weekday morning beginning April 29th at 8 a.m. Eastern, 7 a.m. Central. Hey.
Mister? How do you operate this Twitter thing or this Instagram thing or whatever the heck? You're supposed to know all this stuff. Anyway, welcome back to the show.
I was laughing my head off during the break. Why? Because Cole Johnson is a genius. Whenever I air his commercial and I see that portion of it of beating a dead horse presentation, oh heavens, it takes everything within me not to fall out of my chair. 35 after the hour, we're steaming towards noon, and I want to tell y'all about BetUS.com. BetUS.com is entering its 31st season of action. And with the NFL on the way, Major League Baseball in motion, you know the NBA and NHL are not far behind. You want to get in on the action, all you got to do is log on to BETUS.com and use the code Snowman to get for 125% deposit match on your first deposit. BetUS.com, where the game begins. I took my office apart yesterday. I have been wanting to do it for a couple of weeks. I finally got to it, and then my wife was so exhausted. I put everything back together, and I went and tended to her. She's okay. She's back at work. And after I do that 49er show in a little over an hour from now with my good buddy Andre Fernandez, I'm going to take this thing apart again. And this time, I'm getting everything in place because I get tired of things. Never mind. I got work to do. What happened in the Olympics? Let's see. The women's basketball team won gold. The women's soccer team won gold. The men's basketball team won gold. And yet, given all that, there's a big fat lawsuit heading for Vegas. Here's Alison Moran to help me break it all down. Alison Moran is with us on another Tuesday. How are you, my dear?
I am doing just great, and I'm going to apologize in advance in case my Wi-Fi goes out. It's been giving me issues this morning. I have no idea what's going on. Damn, I hate technicals.
You know what? That's how we met. That's how we met, over technical issues in Chicago, because I tried bringing you on, tested everything. Folks, we did a test call for 10 minutes. We did a test call. Now I'm ready to push the button and bring her on live, and everything goes dead. What happened? Y'all don't want to know how many cups of coffee I drank. Y'all don't want to know how many cups of coffee and tea I drank that afternoon, being so stressed out. But she's here. Alison's here. She is every Tuesday. The women's basketball team took care of business, but that last game made your hair stand up on your head.
Oh my God. I mean, Greg and I were sitting there just, what's going to happen next? What's going to happen now? Let's give credit where credit's due. Former Chicago Sky player 2018 to 2021, Gabby Williams, was the star of that France team. I mean, she she schooled USA in a defensive juggernaut, and I mean, you can tell it was such an incredible and performance by this one woman who I wish the sky could get back at some point. Her and one of the stars of the USA team, Kalia Copper. I miss you, Ka. North Philly representing. It was she. I mean, my God, she had 12 points, 5 rebounds. Kalia did in this, and of course, one can go nowhere without Asia Wilson. One will go nowhere. I mean, 21 points. 21 points was what she had. I almost read Ka's rebounds total, but anyway, but the thing is that from 67, 66, I mean, just look at that total. It was amazing. It was a game for the ages, and and the USA players had to dig in way deep. Yes. They had literally, schooled everybody else in their competition leading up to that moment. They had played easy. They never had much of a challenge until they hit France. And the reason for that, Gabby Williams. Yep. The reason for it all, 19 points, 7 of 16 shooting, 7 rebounds. I mean, and 3 steals and 2 assists. She knew her competition. Oh, yeah, she'd been schooled. Oh my God. So, the great news is that is their 61st victory, as well as their 8th gold medal. But imagine a world in which silver is considered failure. I mean, you gotta put it in perspective sometimes, because I mean, you know the excellence of the WNBA basketball. It is fabulous. It's the highest level you can play. However, Team Europe, those European teams have been going on a hell of a lot longer than the US. If you think about it, I mean, you look back to a movie like Love and Basketball. Do you remember that? Way back when? I do indeed. And I mean, this woman went over to Europe to have to play, and that came out the year before the WNBA was created, and it was, and so from that moment onward, you had that, but European salaries are way higher still. We've talked about that on the show. What is I was thinking, what does this mean for the WNBA now with the gold, with people like Diana Taurasi, who's just gotten her 6th gold medal, and hinted at the fact that she just might return at the age of 46 to Los Angeles. 2028, and who knows what's going to happen. But what does it mean? It means, first of all, that there is another global audience that took a look at this game and said, damn, them women, they be playing. They play for keeps. And so my thought is that this is going to bring in more sponsorship. It's going to bring in more money to the WNBA. It's going to fund training programs. There's going to be more people inspired to watch, which in turn will generate more income for the U.S. and for Team USA, and it will also inspire other European countries. Say, and who knows? We may see India in there one day.
Mm-hmm.
We may see Nigeria in there one day. I'd love to see a global WNBA reach, so to speak. I would love to see. Yeah, I mean, what could be better? But that's the impact of what I think this Olympics will do, and I think that I did not see the final match, the final returns on how many people watched the Team USA go,
Mm-hmm.
but it had to be at least the same 9 million people who watched USA versus Brazil in the soccer
I certainly
in
was one of
golden
those
medal stuff.
that watched the women's soccer final. I watched that and the women's basketball final in between tending to my wife and making sure she got her rest. Man,
Jody, okay?
you know,
Jody,
I said last week that indoor soccer got my attention. I
Yes.
said, and I mean it. With indoor soccer, always got my attention. I was the nerd up late at night watching old games with the Baltimore Blast, the Chicago Sting, the St. Louis Steamers, the Dallas Sidekicks. Watched it all.
Yeah.
That needs to happen. That needs to happen for the women. But what got me to the women's outdoor game was 1999 at the Rose Bowl in Pasadena, California, with that double overtime classic.
I remember it well. And oh my God. And of course, what everybody remembers about that game, Brandi Chastain ripping off her shirt to reveal her Nike sports bra underneath. Interestingly enough, at the 10th anniversary of that particular game, that was in 2009, something like that, the Chicago Red Stars actually had a reunion of those players, and the display of Brandi Chastain's bra, which didn't look too much the worse for wear, sweat stains all over it, all that stuff. But that was really the beginning of the women's soccer movement. And it's gone through many iterations. But at this point, Chicago Red Stars in 4 different iterations, I want to say, have been around since 2009. I was reminded of that just recently, that it's been 15 years. There was an old memory that popped up on my Facebook page of Emma Hayes, the coach of the U.S. women's soccer team and the first coach of the Chicago Red Stars, who looking a little skinnier and a little younger, but aren't we all? But she has put together all these incredible teams in her lifetime, and it just shows the march of time. It shows the impact of the world soccer. And I've got to also just shout out the excellence of Mallory Swanson, as well as the top line of Trinity Rodman, Sophia Smith, and of course Mallory Swanson. It was the most amazing display. And also goalkeeper Alyssa Nair. She's going into the Hall of Fame. She is the Soccer Hall of Fame. The Brazil in that soccer match wanted to get a goal for Marta. Marta, the Brazilian who is retiring this year, who put Brazilian soccer on the map for this generation. It's and Alyssa was able to stop it in I think it was in extra time that she stopped the potential goal, which you've got to say, kudos to Alyssa. This is something like the third time she's done that in the Olympics. And she is a goalkeeper extraordinaire. And damn it, both Mallory Swanson and Alyssa Nair belong to the Red Stars. Get out to a game at SeatGeek Stadium. They've got one coming up. September 8th is their welcome home from the Olympics. They've got 2 road games before that, but they have got to give kudos and recognition to Mal and to Alyssa, because they have put the Chicago Red Stars on the map.
What I love is how they spoke so glowingly of Marta, Trinity Rodman also, before that gold medal match. And it had tears in my eyes because I have 4 daughters.
Yeah.
And
yes,
to hear
you
how
girl
they
dad.
just lovingly spoke of Marta and how she changed the game and put women's soccer on the map for Brazil. I'll tell you what, this proud papa had a tear in his eye when he heard that.
Oh, I bet. Yeah, they did. Brazil is just a powerhouse in the Americas, and the thing I can always recognize the Brazilian players because they only have one name on the male and the female side, and it really makes them stand out. But besides their incredible play, I just hope and pray that that Marta continues on with the game after these Olympics. I pray that she become a coach, or I'm guessing she's going to do some commentating at some point. But I'm guessing she did play in the NWSL, if I'm recalling correctly, and she inspired her teams. And so my guess is, she is going to be a force long after her playing days are over. If I'm correct, I do believe that she is joining the IOC, if I'm not mistaken. She's joining their ranks. So let's see what happens after that. But I'm thinking she has got a wonderful career going. So keep it up, Marta. You've still got a long life to live.
Absolutely. Now, why this medal controversy in gymnastics, which features Jordan Chiles having to give her medal back? What?
What
happened?
Yeah. What happened? Well, the problem was that they initially, Jordan was in 5th place after her floor exercise. And so after that, I believe we talked about it last week. What had happened was her coach sent in an inquiry to see if this one element, the judges had deducted 1/10 of a point for an improper split leap, which is known as a tour jeté full. Okay, that's also a ballet move. I took ballet for 6 years. So I'm aware of what a tour jeté is supposed to look like, and so the inquiry reversed the reversed the score. So Jordan Chiles got the third place bronze instead of Ana Barbosu, who was the Romanian native, who had done some very preliminary celebrating. Okay, so fast forward. The Romanian the Romanian Federation had counter inquired, and they said that the U.S. had hadn't sent in their inquiry in time. You've got like a minute afterwards, and then there was a timestamp that said that they had gotten it in. They had actually made two inquiries, one at 47 seconds, the other at 55 seconds. So that was disproved, and finally, and then let's see. I know this is confusing. I apologize, but what happened was that the Romanian Federation, after all this, had requested that they have 3 bronze medals given to Barbosu and Sabrina Monica Vonia, who had an identical score to Barbosu, and finally Jordan Chiles. They all their scores were 13.7, and so what will and finally yesterday, finally they ruled, the Federation ruled that it was the Court of Arbitration finally ruled that the final U.S. inquiry, which was submitted yesterday, had been turned down. So so consequently, Ana Barbosu is remaining the bronze medalist, and Jordan Chiles and the other Romanian who had received the same score are going home without medals, essentially. Now, something has got to give on this. All through the weekend, my feed was full of, well, who won? What's really going on here? And the officiating has to be better. The gymnastics is a hugely subjective sport. In that respect, it's a lot like figure skating. And where you have a certain element that you can do. You have certain points that you have to hit in order to make it right, in order to gain those points. And the problem is that more inquiries like this are going to take place. If you'll now, nobody doped, nobody had an issue with with anything that ordinarily knocks a person out of medal contention. This was simply a subjective judgment on by one judge. I say change the rules on the judges. Figure out a better system of noticing these elements. It was a long process to get to this moment. Let's make it fair. To my mind, and to all of the people on social media who responded, they're like, give the medals to all 3 women. Give the medals to all 3 women, because in in something like this, okay, yes, it's competition, but if they have done equally good jobs, whether on review or whether on the initial, this is what they did when do you remember the story of Jamie Saleh and David Pelletier, the figure skaters who were caught up in a horse trading, essentially, of I'll give you points for this. Obviously, that was illegal, and the system had to be changed there. The system needs to be changed here as well for those incredibly difficult moves. I don't know. What are your thoughts about this, Brian? Because it is a big sticking point.
There's no consistency. There's no consistency from what I'm reading into it, and that has to change. And it's got to change quick because you're going to get more controversies like this, and it's not going to get any better. Seen it many times in the Olympics, be it Winter Olympics or Summer Olympics, because if you don't have the consistency as well as a very strict eye for the sport that you're judging, there's always going to be controversies like this.
Yeah. And the thing that hurts the most, is that you've got little girls coming up, and they don't want to see that. Here's what the Court of Arbitration actually said about that. In their final ruling, they said that the rules do not allow for an arbitral award to be reconsidered even when conclusive new evidence is presented, which I don't think is the proper way to go about discovering a way that's fair. Yes, it's competition. Yes, somebody's going to go home medalist somehow. But yeah, I'm in total agreement with you, Brian. It's the judging has to be different, fairer. The scoring has to mirror and reflect these particular elements and the difficulty in which they're able to be performed and presented. And there has to be a better way of doing this than three very young women who are simply trying. I mean, the eventual winner, Anna Barbosu, is 18. Jordan Chiles is 23. And technically, I mean, she could, like Simone Biles, come up for another Olympics. She'll only be the same age as Simone is now, 27. So she could have some kind of a career beyond this and redemption, as Simone experienced during this Olympics. My God, it's. I think the controversy will rage on forever.
It will.
That's it. Yeah, but I think for those young women who have fought so hard, their lives should not be made worse, or it just shouldn't have happened the way it did. They should have awarded them 3 bronze medals. I don't care. At that point, they've all done well. And I'm gonna stake my reputation on that ruling, because I firmly believe that the 3 women involved in that particular controversy deserve it. They deserve those medals.
Yeah, they do.
Yeah.
And now one final explosive note that you sent me.
Yeah.
Dearica Hamby.
Yes.
Oh my.
Derek,
Derrica Hamby
yes.
is about to push the plunger on something very explosive, as a lawsuit was filed in the U.S. District Court for Nevada against her former team, the Las Vegas Aces, and the WNBA. Now, you want to talk about a dark cloud? Listen to this, folks. The lawsuit alleges discrimination, intimidation, and retaliation were levied against Hamby, and I can't believe I'm going to read this aloud, because of her pregnancy. What?
Yeah. What?
So
she was
traded because she got pregnant? What?
And she was promised, she was promised certain things by the Las Vegas Aces between 2022 and 2023. She was promised accommodation, which she did not receive. She was promised compensation, which she did not receive. She was promised certain leniencies, certain things that a woman who has had a difficult pregnancy needs in order to move forward. And so none of those things were delivered, despite this woman-centric organization, the WNBA. They really were snuffing what their whole league is about. Of course, women are going to get pregnant. Women are going to need. I mean, you can't help it when you are the when you are the one carrying the child. You are going to need certain accommodation for and with Derrica, her pregnancy wasn't easy, but it was made that much more difficult by the Las Vegas Aces digging in their heels and not living up to their promises. And this is another aspect of having a women-centric organization is, do you live up to the principles of womanhood, which is to be the nurturer of the child. First of all, the gestational period, 9 months. I mean, that's what it's going to be. Women, Derrica is not particularly old for the earth, but she waited a little to have children, and so it was a higher risk pregnancy, and so she needed to have those accommodations that Las Vegas Aces had promised her. All of the things that were necessary in order for her to become, to deliver a healthy baby, get back into shape, tightening, whatever, and give her time for that R&R that was needed. That's the reason she's not on the Spark, or she's not on the Aces anymore, because she needed desperately to have that done. Now, this is going to be a groundbreaking lawsuit because because however the judge rules, it's going to impact virtually every player. I mean, it's going to impact somehow, even if it's their partners who are going to be getting the giving birth, as in the case of, say, Brittany Griner and her wife Chanel. They're going to want to take some leave. How does it's very possible. I mean, Chanel and Brittany are both older adults, and they're going to be needing some extra time. What happens if the baby's born with special needs? What's going to happen then? Are they actually going to have the leeway? Will the Phoenix Mercury give them the leeway to especially we're going to be in playoff time in another month. What's going to happen then? Are they going to honor a contract and honor the agreements, or what's going to happen? Is Brittany going to have to fight for her rights as well to get time off? We don't know. But whatever is decided in this case will likely become precedent for the WNBA. Are they going to side with the owners? Are there or are they going to side with the players? Now, my money is always on the little guy, the players. I'm probably somewhere along the road. I was from a union family, and so for me, the workers' rights have been key. My great uncle worked for U.S. Steel for years on end. He raised my mother, and I know that he had to fight for certain rights because he wasn't the child's natural father, and so my mother's father died 2 months before she was born. This was back in the 1920s, and so and if you'll recall, in the 1930s, there were a lot of UAW strikes and things like that, and U.S. Steel as well. And so he had to fight for rights for his children, his family, things like that. This is a repeat of all of the labor strikes and the labor unions' work that have been so necessary to ensure that workers have a safe place to be, and a safe place to visit, and a safe place to have their children and create a family life that is essential to the work-life balance that is necessary. So it's going to be a very interesting and I would say hard-fought battle on both sides in order to make it work.
It's going to be an extended battle. It is going to be a long, drawn-out, extended battle because with this case now, with this lawsuit now being filed, you have to wonder how many have gone through this before Derica spoke out about it. How many were forced to their condition behind closed doors until after the baby arrives? And not only that, what were the details behind that? So this is opening, well, may as well go ahead and put it in the big category. This is Pandora's box being blown wide open.
which it needed to be dealt with. So because you kind of have to decide if you are worker centric or company centric as an organization. Do you give all to that company? And in turn, does the company take care of you? This has been a fight that has gone on for more, ever since the Industrial Revolution. Right. And it's a long time fight. Every generation has to fight for what they consider to be the rights of workers, and that goes across the country. But I'll be very curious if it comes out, and hopefully it comes out worker centric. That's my hope, is that you find fairer rules. So we've talked a lot about fairness today, haven't we?
Yeah,
we've talked about the fairness of the people doing
there needs
the job.
to be more of it, especially toward women. There needs to be, especially women in athletics. There needs to be even more fairness because they've earned it. Because these women are putting their bodies on the line, they're putting their mental health on the line to be involved in the competition that they've been involved in basically since childhood, no matter what field they chose. And it's only fair that they are fairly represented. This needs to continue to
Exactly.
happen.
And we all
Needs to
need to
continue
step
to
up and
happen.
fight with them. Yeah.
Yep.
And we need to step up and fight along with them. And you and I can do that on this platform. And because, without those bodies, no one is going to want to do this in future years if you don't take care of people. And so, yeah, that's just my opinion, and I'm going to stick to it.
It
But
is
I think we're on the same page here.
about so many times with me recently going through a cancer battle and being turned away for disability and turned away from Medicare and turned away from Medicaid.
That is
3 years.
ridiculous.
3 years. And the stupid thing about it, we'll close with this, and I'm going to put a broad hint out there what I'm going to open the show with tomorrow. The stupid thing is, I have been told so many times over by passersby that in the state of Indiana, the only way I'm going to get any kind of assistance is if I don't have this on my finger. That ain't gonna happen.
Seriously. No.
I was
Of
told,
course
I
not.
was flat out told. Matter of fact, let me go ahead and put the whole story out there since we got a few extra minutes. Let me put the whole story out there. I've been a business owner for many years. I haven't brought in a profit because I've been slowly getting the foundation built together and what I need to do and how I need to do it. And Jody has been my biggest cheerleader, showing me how it should be done. I was flat out told that because I didn't put in enough quote unquote work credits that I won't be able to claim disability. And here's the curveball behind that. Here is, I'm gonna throw a name from the past, and you being a Cubs fan should recognize. Here's a Rick Sutcliffe curveball for you. Not only that,
Loved it.
not only that, not only can I not claim disability, the Rick Sutcliffe curveball is not a lawyer will take my case because they deem it a technicality.
That is just so unfair.
And
That is
people
so
wonder
unfair.
why. And people wonder why I'm hustling doing this and asking for donations as much as I am. I gotta support my family because my wife's tired. Okay.
Yeah.
She's the breadwinner. Would I like to be? Hell yeah, I'd like to be. I want to tell her, baby, you can stop working for a while. But because of this, and because of cancer and blood clots and amputation and kidney failure that I've been through, and all of that has happened to my body and me and my family within the last 3 years. Y'all don't want to see the litany of bills that has been accrued.
Yeah. Yeah. And gosh, move to Illinois. It's
Gosh, if it were only that
it's
easy.
like I know. My heart goes out to you, but
If it were only that easy.
you have got a good thing going with your family. You've got a wonderful thing here, and you will prevail. You are snowman
Yeah,
strong. So
I
you
appreciate
will most assuredly you will prevail. It takes a while. It for fairness to kick in, but I think if enough people raise voices, and if enough people are on the side of right, I think that's where something will happen. Civil rights did not happen without a fight. Title IX didn't happen without a fight. We're seeing the benefits of Title IX. We're seeing the benefits of actually giving women the facilities to nurture their talent and their sport. They whoever's listening to this, if you are a disability rights lawyer, I may have somebody I should try and send you to for that. contact this man, contact Brian, and let's get fairness working for our Brian Snow, our snowman in the morning.
I appreciate that so much. We got to get. Thank you, Allison. I appreciate you. I love you very much. Thanks for coming on. We'll see you next week.
All right. Have a great week.
Very, very kind words. Very kind words. Beginning tomorrow at the bottom of this, you're going to see the hashtag Snowstrong. Yes, I'm bringing it back. Got to get out of here because at the top of the next hour, it's That 49ers Show, the full season 1 premiere with myself and Andre Fernandez. We're going to get you ready for the 2024 49ers football season. Have a great day. God bless. Remember to make your next move your best move. And always remember, if your dreams don't scare you, they are simply not big enough. Dream big, do bigger. We are, and we hope you all are too. So long, everybody.